In this video, I'm going to explain to you why high nitrogen fertilizer is actually more detrimental to growing a tomato plant than you can imagine. Let's begin. When you're talking about growing tomato plants, you need to understand these three symbols here: your N, your P, and your K. They have numbers on them. These numbers actually tell you one thing: the amount of nitrogen you have in the fertilizer, the amount of phosphorus you have in your fertilizer, and the amount of potassium you have in your fertilizer. N, or nitrogen, is responsible for your vegetative stage. This right here allows your plants to be able to produce the chlorophyll as well as take in the sunlight or sun energy, and allows it to do photosynthesis. Photosynthesis is very, very important because it allows the plant to take in carbon dioxide that we breathe out, and it takes the carbon atom, hooks it up to the elements that it takes up from the soil, and makes those elements organic and puts it into the fruit that you get to eat. Now, if you look down here, there's two types of nitrogen that the tomato plant takes up. One is called ammonium, NH4. It's a positive, meaning there's a cation. Over here is nitrate, NO3 negative. It's called an anion. Nitrate is a negatively charged ion. Ammonium is a positively charged ion. The tomato plant, or any other plant, only takes up their elements in the ionic form. Organic compounds have to be broken down into the ionic form in order for the tomato plant's roots to be able to take them up. Now, why is this right here so important that you pay attention to your nitrogen? High nitrogen triggers this plant to do only one thing: vegetative growth. All you're going to get is a plant full of leaves, and you're not going to get much of anything in the form of fruit. You may get some fruit, but you may get a few. You want to look for fertilizers that the nitrogen number here is actually lower than your phosphorus and your potassium. Think of this right here as a three-stage rocket. Your first stage is your vegetative stage. Once this stage right here is done, you want to drop that stage off and continue on to your next stage, which is going to be your flowering stage. This right here is when your tomato plant goes into what is called the reproductive stage. This right here allows the tomato plant to get its flowers pollinated so they can actually produce the fruit and the seeds, so that its next generation can carry on and preserve the genetics of that tomato fruit. And your K is responsible for your fruiting. This right here is very, very important that your tomato plants are able to produce high quality fruit. If your nitrogen is higher than these two, you're mostly going to get a lot of vegetative growth, which is why this Neptune Harvest is an organic fertilizer. But if you look on the front right here, the nitrogen is 2, the phosphorus is 4, and the potassium is 2. The numbers here on this nitrogen fertilizer are actually lower because this is what we would call a slow release fertilizer. Once that nitrogen is done with allowing the plant to do its vegetative growth, this 4 right in the middle, your phosphorus, is going to take over so that the plant can go in what is called the reproductive stage. And once that stage produces all its flowers and everything, then your potassium is going to come in play to allow the tomato plant to produce good high quality fruit. This Miracle-Gro here contains 18, 18, 21, meaning it has 18 nitrogen, 18 phosphorus, and 21 potassium. And that right there is good for tomato plants because this specific Miracle-Gro is specifically made for growing tomato plants. Your nitrogen is lower, your phosphorus is the same, but this K right here, your potassium, is actually higher at 21. So this right here encourages the plant to make good quality fruit. But if you're going to be growing in the ground or the soil, I strongly recommend that you go with the organic fertilizer, because your soil is like your investment. You're investing in that soil. You want to build that soil to good quality, and you want to build it to good quality over time. Using inorganic fertilizers, on the other hand, it's going to feed your plant quickly, because inorganic fertilizers are readily taken up through the roots here, and it causes quick growth. But on the other hand, all you're doing is basically destroying the home where the earthworms and other microbes live in. Once that inorganic fertilizer does its job of growing the plant, it does nothing at all to provide you with good healthy soil. I hope this information helps you out in understanding why high nitrogen fertilizer will actually prevent you from getting tomato fruit. If you have any other questions or anything like that right there, please leave them in the comment section below. And please hit that like button, and please subscribe to my channel if you'd like to know more about tomatoes, the history of tomatoes, and the different type of varieties that are out there. I'll also be doing hydroponic tomatoes, and I also specialize in indoor tomato gardening as well. I'm John Jr. I am the Tomato Man. Take care of yourselves. God bless. Take care. Bye-bye.